What's up, everybody? It's Alex Leak and Friends podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin on the show. What's up, Dustin?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you on. This will be the Final Four preview and kind of recap the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight of the March Madness. There's been some great basketball, um, throughout. And let's talk about um, the shocker, really a big shocker, is Gonzaga, Arkansas. Gonzaga was your pick to win the entire thing. It was a lot of people's pick to win the entire thing. They made it to the national championship last year. They had the team and the talent to take the next step, and just couldn't get it done against the 4 seed Arkansas. What did you think watching that game?
Well, I learned from this game that I think I'm going to pick a different championship or a different team to go the national championship from now on, because this is the third year in a row that I chose Gonzaga to win it all, and they've let me down.
Well, they've been letting people down for a long time. This is a team, college that's had the talent to win multiple national championships and just can't get it done for whatever reason. Do you think they need to consider leaving the conference and going and playing in a tougher conference with tougher competition?
Absolutely. I mean, the WCC is not really that great of a conference. Like put Gonzaga in even a lower tier group of five.
Yeah,
Like Big East or the American or something.
or the pack. They could be a good fit in the pack.
In Pac-12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what do you think? There was a couple iffy calls on the center Chet Holmgren, where he looked like he was straight up and down and got 2 calls against him that fouled him out of the game. Did you disagree with those calls?
I didn't get to see those calls, unfortunately, but
Yeah, they were iffy. I wouldn't have called them. Even the I think it's Gene Steratore or whoever the head official is, on these games, was like, the first one I would have called, the second one I wouldn't have. And there was a big call because it fouls him out late in the game. Um, but I mean, the talent was there. It's just Gonzaga seems to always choke in these big games, deep in the tournament. So big win for Arkansas, though, but very
yeah,
disappointing. Yeah, go ahead.
Arkansas has been doing this all season in the SEC, though. You know, they've been back and forth. They beat Auburn, a good Tennessee team, and Kentucky. So they've been doing it all season long.
I guess I'm just a hater, but I was never buying Arkansas, like, at all. And I had them going out early in the tournament. I think I had them losing the first game. They proved me wrong by going to the Elite Eight, but I'm frustrated because I think we all would have been in for a much better matchup with Gonzaga versus Duke. Don't you think so?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I don't know what it is. Coach Mark Few just can't seem to get over that hump. What is it that you think could be the factor of them not being able to get past, to finally win the championship?
I mean, it's tough. Every year they call it March Madness for a reason, and very rarely does the number one overall seed win it. Um, that, and I just think, I think playing tougher competition throughout the season could make them more prepared for a deep run. I think they're clearly like the best team in their conference, and so they can kind of like breeze through the conference and the conference championship, and then when they get deeper in the tournament, they're faced with some real tough competition. I mean, Memphis almost beat them. Memphis gave them a real tough run.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But see here, Alex, my thing is, I think they're one of the only teams this year with 2 lottery picks in their starting lineup back to back.
Yeah, I heard someone say they just don't have the talent of other teams, and I disagree. They have the talent, they just didn't get it done. There's no excuses. Drew Timmy, Chet Holmgren, even that Nemhard kid, they've got talent.
Yeah, and they had it last year. Last year was when they were loaded and they should have won it.
Yeah, but couldn't get it done. What about Duke Texas Tech? This is one of my favorite games of the tournament. Texas Tech was my pick to win it all, and I thought they had a real good shot at beating Duke. And it was a very hard fought game down to the wire. And Duke, seems to. It doesn't matter how they play the first, in the first half or even midway through the second half. They seem to flip a switch late and step their defense up, and then just hit clutch shots after clutch shot. They're playing hard for Coach K.
Yeah, it seems like they really want him to ride off in the sunset with, one more national championship. And also, Duke hits their free throws when it matters.
Yeah. And that one kid, Paolo Banchero or whatever his name is, that dude is a baller.
Yeah, I think he's probably the best player that's left in the Final Four next to Colin Gillespie from Villanova.
Connor Gillespie, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I just think this dude has NBA written all over him. He reminds me of, he didn't have the pro career we thought, but Michael Beasley coming out of college, he reminds me of him. Maybe not the scorer Beasley was quite yet, but he can do everything. He's tall, long, athletic, and he can pass very well. He can defend, had some big block shots. He can hit the three. He's got spin moves and fakes. He can do it all, man.
Yeah, how about that I think he's a point guard from Kansas?
On Duke? Oh,
No, no, the Obaj. I'm
oh
sorry,
yeah,
I'm not very good at
Kansas.
pronouncing his name.
Yeah, he's really good. I also like Roach on Duke, their guard. So, I was rooting for Texas Tech. They had the defense and the team to go on a deep run, but Duke is just proven to be almost unbeatable. And then they go and take care of business, beating Arkansas, by 9. And, I would have much rather seen Duke Gonzaga, but Duke, how are you feeling about Duke right now going into the Final Four? They look, like maybe they just have that it factor to win the whole thing.
It's the it factor, but it also comes down to a group of kids that are playing, knowing that every game, could be Coach K's last game, and I think they want nothing more than to let him have his final game, winning a national championship.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty cool story. I think we're headed for a Duke Kansas final. I think those are the two best teams left. And Kansas was always a favorite from the very beginning. And I picked them to go to the national championship. I just feel like Kansas Villanova is going to be a great game, but I think Kansas and Duke are the two best teams, and that would be a hell of a matchup.
Oh yeah, it would be a great game, but Villanova's good.
Yeah, Villanova is now. I need to look it up, but I think Villanova got one of their guards hurt in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, he it just came out that he tore his Achilles tendon.
Yeah, so that's a big loss. We'll see how that affects them. Um, in the Final Four. But let's go to so North Carolina UCLA was a good matchup. North Carolina gets that win by 7. And then St. Peter's over Purdue. How about St. Peter's over Purdue? That was wild.
Yeah, man, hats off to St. Peter's. I mean, if you look into what they're one of the poorest colleges in all of D1, and this team made it to the Elite Eight. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And then I mean they just couldn't match up against North Carolina. They lose by 20. North Carolina, they're an 8 seed, but they're not playing like it. How dangerous is North Carolina right now, in your opinion?
Oh, North Carolina, in my opinion, out of all the teams left, have the most momentum, and they're dangerous. If Kansas doesn't bring it, North Carolina could very well upset them.
Well, it starts with we talked about this in our original prediction before the tournament even started about a possible Final Four North Carolina Duke matchup, and we're gonna get that now. That is gonna be must-watch basketball.
Yeah. Oh man, it's it's gonna be so fun. I can't wait for it.
And there's some talk. I mean, Duke was upset that North Carolina didn't give Coach K like this, like some kind of like send off or like congratulate him, knowing it was his last season. Duke was kind of shady about that. Like North Carolina didn't give him the proper, send off, and so there was some talk back and forth after when North Carolina beat them last time. So this could be a heated matchup. I tell you what, I mean, North Carolina is gonna give them a hell of a game. How crazy would it be if they beat them again?
Yeah, man, that would be huge for Hubie Smith to send for that to be the final, nail in the coffin and sending Coach K out for retirement and him to be the one that did it.
Yeah, Hubie Davis,
Or yeah, Hubie Davis. I'm sorry.
former Knicks guard, and North Carolina alum, but Hubert Davis, yeah, but and then St. Peter's coach Shaheen Holloway has already signed or has already, looking to move on. He's going to go coach Seton Hall next year.
Oh wow, that was pretty fast.
Yeah, it sounded like it was already in the works, and they were just going to let the tournament play out, and then he was gone no matter what.
He
But
deserved it though.
yeah, good for Shaheen Holloway going to Seton Hall. So yeah, North Carolina Duke must watch basketball. I get the feeling Duke's going to find a way to win, but I mean, how bitter would it be for Coach K and Duke to get knocked out by their arch rival North Carolina like that?
Oh man, as a Duke fan, you would have to hate it, and that would leave a bad taste in the mouth of the players and Coach K.
Yeah, I could see Coach K just like getting pissed and being like, "All right, one more year. I can't leave like this."
Yeah,
um,
which
now
would
let's
be
go.
cool. He's a
Yeah,
legend.
yeah, I like stuff like that when the sports don't always follow the script and shit changes. Nothing's definite. So let's go to the South where Houston, Arizona. Houston beating Arizona. This is something I didn't have the balls to pick in my original prediction, but I was feeling more confident about it previewing the Sweet 16. But I think I still went with Arizona because that was my pick. How about Houston beating the number 1 seed Arizona?
Yeah, that was surprising to me because I had Arizona in the national championship game.
Yeah.
But then again, Houston has the defense that wins ball games.
Yeah, they're crazy. Finding a way to win that big win over Arizona. Arizona and Gonzaga, the two top favorites to go to the national championship this year, going into the bracket. Um, Michigan's luck runs out against Villanova, and then Villanova beats Houston. Villanova, like you said, they're playing some great basketball right now, and they look very tough to beat. Connor Gillespie and those guys just playing solid. It doesn't matter whether it's a high-scoring game or a 50-44 type game against Houston. Villanova just finds a way to win the big ones.
Yeah, how about that one? And Villanova wouldn't have won if Houston didn't go 1 from 23 behind the 3-point line.
Yeah. And that's the thing you get sometimes with these teams that are great defensively. Texas Tech ran into this as well, is that you put so much to the defensive side of the ball that at times you go on droughts offensively and can't score enough.
Yeah. So that's why sometimes, Mr. Defense over there, it's
Yeah,
not always good to have a good
you got
defense, crappy offense.
yeah, you got to have both, and it's gotta it's gotta be at the right times. You have to have not only offense but timely offense, and you can't have just defense. You got to have clutch defense. So you need leadership and a complete team. Really, at the end of the day, we see that all the time in football and in the NBA as well. Um, and then Kansas over Providence, and then so Miami beats Iowa State, right?
Yep.
And then Miami, Kansas, and actually Miami, Kansas was a good game until midway through the second half, and then Kansas just pulled away like crazy. That's what I see in Kansas is like they have an extra gear that I don't think anybody else in college basketball has. That they're a solid team, and then they can turn it on and be the best team in the country. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The matchup I want is a legend Bill Self versus a legend Coach K, and it deciding if Coach K is going to leave as national champion or not.
Yeah. I mean, right now, the way I feel, I don't know if Kansas can be beat. I think Kansas is my favorite to win the whole thing. Duke, North Carolina is my favorite game to watch coming up. I think Kansas beats Villanova, especially losing that guard. And Kansas, Duke, or Kansas, North Carolina, I just think Kansas finds a way to win. I think they're the best team.
I
What do you think?
I would take Duke just for the Coach
Like
K.
this, yeah, the story, the sentimental aspect of it. I
Yeah,
mean, that would be the story. That's what everyone wants to see is Duke win it and Coach K ride off into the sunset as a national champion one last time. But I think North Carolina is very capable of spoiling the party. This is a tough matchup for Duke. This is not who they wanted. They would have much preferred UCLA or Purdue or Baylor, and instead they get their arch rival North Carolina. This is a bad matchup for Duke.
I agree. And I actually, believe it or not, I think it's a bad matchup for Kansas too, because Villanova, Jay Wright has experience.
Villanova's playing great ball. Villanova, Kansas is going to be a hell of a matchup. I could see this game going to overtime. I just feel like Kansas has that extra little bit to put them over the edge. I think they win a very close game. But to your credit, Villanova is great. They're a solid team. So, who's your pick for the national championship? Who wins in the Final Four, Duke or North Carolina?
Oh man, I've been so here.
This is old school, man. This is the college basketball we grew up watching. Duke, North Carolina, with everything on the line.
You know what? Give me Duke.
All right. I like it. You know what? I've been picking against Duke the entire tournament. Why stop now? I'm going North Carolina. I want to see an 8 seed in the national championship. I think it's a bad matchup for them. Go Heels. Be the heels and be the ruin the story of Coach K. And who knows? Maybe this pisses Duke off enough. Maybe Coach K comes back next year.
Yeah, with like five-star recruits in their starting lineup, then nobody's gonna
Yeah.
be.
Then they can win it all next year as a statement. But Coach K is going to pull a Tom Brady if he loses in this one.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that. I think he's done enough, and I think he's satisfied with what he's done.
Yeah, how can you leave like that? How can your last game have such a bitter taste? You know what I mean? And they already beat Duke once, and they were pissed off about that. And I'm just saying, this is a game Duke can't lose. If Duke loses this, I'm going to be very interested to see what happens at Duke. This the rest of the way because
Okay, so hear me out,
Go
right?
ahead. Yeah.
I don't think now. Call me crazy. I don't think Coach K is done coaching basketball.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think he's done coaching Duke because I think at the end of the season the Lakers are going to fire Frank Vogel, and we could see Mike Krzyzewski as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
That'd be crazy. Well, why would he want to go lose in LA?
I mean, LeBron's there, and they
That's
can
not
make
an attraction. No, I'm just kidding.
if you
No,
get
I
coach.
get it. I get it. I could see that. I mean, the Lakers need some kind of savior. They need Coach K. They need Phil Jackson. They need, why the hell doesn't Jeff Van Gundy or Mark Jackson have a coaching job in the NBA?
I've been asking the same thing,
Yeah. Two
especially.
legends, two all-time greats. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna be very interested in this game. I'm picking North Carolina, but I could be wrong for sure. Duke's gonna be the favorite, and they're trying to go out on top for Coach K. How about Villanova, Kansas? Are you going Villanova to beat Kansas?
My heart wants Villanova, but I
Hmm.
have to go with reality. I think it's going to be Kansas.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard fought, down to the wire. Maybe Kansas wins by 2 or 3 points, but I think Kansas has just enough. I think regardless of who is in the national championship, who they face, I think Kansas is my pick to win it all right now.
So where is the Final Four?
New Orleans.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's pretty much the same travel from Cameron and then from Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So um I like Villanova. When's the last time Villanova's won the whole thing though? It's been a while, right?
2018.
Really? That
Yep.
recently?
Yep. They won in 2016 and then they won again in 2018.
Okay, then I'm talking on my ass. I remember 2016 actually, now that you say that. I remember watching that game, and who they beat that year. I remember that game.
North Carolina.
Yeah, and that was a great game. Um, I had forgotten about 2018. So Villanova's proven they can get it done. I just don't. Kansas to me is the most talented team, and maybe it's their competition. Maybe I'm getting distracted by wins over Texas Southern and Creighton and Providence and Miami that they haven't really been tested. So if Villanova beats them, it's going to be like, well, they finally faced real competition. Villanova had to beat Ohio State, Michigan, Houston, I believe much tougher competition.
Yeah, and this is not last time in 2008 in the Final Four. The one that they had to beat to get to the national championship was Kansas.
Okay, and they did it.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, maybe Kansas gets revenge. Maybe Villanova just has that it factor. Um, but we're both going Kansas, right?
I'm gonna go Duke.
You mean Kansas Villanova? We're both going Kansas.
Oh yeah, Kansas.
Okay. And then national championship, you've got Duke, Kansas, which I think is the most likely. And then I've got North Carolina, Kansas. You're going Duke over Kansas?
Yep, I'm gonna take the Blue Devils.
All right. I'm taking Kansas, and I think they'll win over Duke or North Carolina. So it'll be interesting. I can't wait to see how the Final Four goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be at WrestleMania. Are you going to be able to watch these games? What's
Yeah.
going on? What's going on Saturday out there?
Saturday night is night one of WrestleMania,
Okay,
and then
so
Sunday night two.
nice. So that'll be a lot of fun. But and then I believe it's Monday night's the national championship, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you'll at least get to watch that. I can't wait for Monday night. But Duke, North Carolina, man, how does it get any better than that? I can't wait for that game. we joked about that in our tournament, when we picked the bracket and said how cool would that be? And it's real cool that we're getting it and in the final four of all places.
Yeah, and I was just reading that this is the first ever time that these two are going to go head to head in the tournament.
Really?
Yeah, it says it right here. It says this is the first time that Duke and North Carolina has ever gone head to head in the NCAA tourney.
No shit. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So historic as hell. This reminds me of the Bears Packers NFC Championship game when it was like the Bears Packers almost never meet in the playoffs. And this is with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Like it doesn't get any bigger than this.
Yep, and then Coach K is also. I'm throwing stats out there.
Yeah.
Coach K is also the first Division I coach in history of men or women's to reach a Final Four in 5 different decades.
Yeah. That's super impressive. What a legend.
Yeah, that's something that I don't think will be done for a long time.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the only thing that would make this better is if Roy Williams was still coaching.
Yeah, but I mean, Hubert Davis is a Roy Williams protege, basically.
Yeah, no doubt. It's still there. The the history, the rivalry, it's all still there. And Roy Williams is going to be there as a fan. I can't wait for this game. That's going to be the matchup of the tournament right there, Duke, North Carolina. Um, I've rooted for Duke in this history before. I remember Austin Rivers hitting a game winner against North Carolina and posting a picture of that saying Tar Heel Killer with an Austin Rivers game winner picture. So in my history, I've rooted for Duke over North Carolina, but this is one of the rare times. I think I'm just like I like to see chaos. I always root for chaos. I always root for the higher seed, like the 8 seed, to pull off the upset, and kind of rooting against the storybook ending. But the storybook ending would be great as well.
Okay, so if there was 2 upsets, back-to-back upsets, who you taking, North Carolina or Villanova?
I'm rooting for North Carolina then. I'll go with MJ's alma mater, MJ and Vince Carter. I like North Carolina a lot. I think they're playing some great basketball. That 8 seed is very deceiving. They're not playing like an 8 seed. They're playing like a 2 or a 3. And they can beat anybody right now. I think if it's North Carolina Villanova, I feel confident North Carolina can pull that off.
Yeah, and I was talking at the beginning of when we first did our bracket that the seedings this year kind of really didn't make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's Miami should not have been a 10 seed. They played way better. Notre Dame was way better than an 11 seed, and obviously North Carolina should not be an 8 seed either.
Yeah, and we were hating on Michigan at an 11 seed, but they won 2 games, beat number 3 Tennessee, and couldn't get past Villanova. But Villanova showed how good they are. So gotta give Michigan some credit. But yeah, the seeding was a little funky this year. And then I mean the story of the bracket, the story of this year's tournament, we're gonna remember it for a long time. St. Peter's getting to the Elite 8.
Yeah, that's the most impressive next to the Florida Gulf Coast when they made it to
Yeah,
the Sweet 16.
and I remember that one as well. I was a big fan. I always love it when these teams go on deep runs. Florida Gulf Coast. I remember when Oral Roberts went on their run. I was like, who doesn't love Oral? and and now St. Peter's, we had all kinds of jokes. I mean, St. Peter's goes on a deep run, but at the end of the day, North Carolina denied St. Peter 3 times. So, great win. So I've got Kansas cutting down the nets, and you've got Duke and Coach K. What a story that would be if Duke goes out champions.
Yeah, it would be a great story, and obviously, sports fans love that storybook ending.
Absolutely. So good stuff. We'll get this episode posted. And appreciate good stuff, Dustin. Good content. And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
And we'll put this out for all of our viewers. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep following along. We keep getting our numbers up. We're gaining momentum, more subscribers. I see people following along, so I appreciate the support. And we're going to keep this coming out. And so, yeah, appreciate it and have a great week, guys. Peace out.